I progressed minimally. Yet, I was what the Western world of physicians would call severely disabled. I could walk with heavy assistance, though my legs remained strong. I was lacking in coordination, so Lance began to carry me from place to place. He is always down for a workout. I couldn't lift my arms, my neck strength was waning, and I lost weight due to having to eat more slowly. In February, I had an appointment with a famous healing nun at our convent. They had a little gift shop with donations of religious memorabilia. Lance was rolling me around the shop with amazing artwork and stopped right in front of a bookshelf filled with angel paintings. My parents told me to pick one. My siblings helped me love through them, but I chose the first one to catch my eye. It was an angel in a blue dress holding a baby. Something else came up in my mind as I waited, a thought that seemed to be ignited by the painting, hope for the day that Lance and I could start a family of our own. For so long, I wanted to get better for God, for my family, but now, at 25 years old and 6 years longer than I thought I would be dealing with this illness, my desire to heal was magnified by a dream I had temporarily suppressed in my mind, a dream of children. There were so many reasons I was ready to put my disease behind me, and having a child was becoming the biggest one. As I looked at that angel holding the baby, I tried desperately to ignore the doubt that I wanted and focus on the faith that I would one day have a child. That night, I stared at that angel holding her baby and imagined the day I'd be healthy and holding my own. While it was seemingly a distant reality, I'd been made aware that anything could happen. A quote by French philosopher Jean de la Bruyere, "Out of difficulties grow miracles." At the beginning of April, Lance and I shockingly found out that I was pregnant. Literally moments after, Lance read the daily write-up from a book called Jesus Calling. It read, "Let me fill you with my love, joy, and peace. These are glory gifts, flowing from my living presence. Though you are an earthen vessel, I design you to be filled with heavenly contents. Your weakness is not a deterrent to being filled with my spirit. On the contrary, it provides an opportunity for my power to shine forth more brightly. As you go through this day, trust me to provide the strength you need moment by moment. Don't waste your energy wondering whether you're adequate for today's journey. My spirit within you is more than sufficient to handle whatever this day may bring. That is the basis for your confidence. In quietness, spending time alone with me, and confident trust, relying on my sufficiency. This is your strength." It was evident to us that this was God's plan. There was so much unknown with my unique situation. As we looked at each other in that moment, one thing was crystal clear. All we felt was joy. By July, my pregnancy had been going smoothly, despite intense morning sickness, of course. My mom, mother-in-law, Lance, and I visited with Sister again. We sat quietly as she spoke to Jesus. When she was finished, we told her I was pregnant. She smiled big in a way that made it obvious she knew. She began talking about my pregnancy, saying everything was going to be okay, that the birth was going to go smoothly, and she began to talk about the baby. She said he was going to be healthy. She said he would be his dad's sidekick. She foresaw that he was going to have blonde hair and blue eyes. We were astonished and collectively asked, "He?" She responded confidently, "Yes, it's a boy." She told me I was going to be a beautiful mother. A mother I'm going to be a mom, I thought to myself. The four of us were hysterical. She implored Jesus' help, saying, "Please heal her so she can raise her son. She's too young for this." Before we left, she asked us his name. Lance said, "Lance Jude." She enthusiastically yet calmly repeated, "Lance Jude," and began to sing the Beatles song, "Hey Jude." Later that month was my ultrasound appointment, where we could get a good view and discover if the baby was a boy or a girl. About 3 minutes into the ultrasound, there it was, clear as day, no mistaking we were having a boy. By September, my gynecologist had created a team of doctors for my care, a gynecologist, a maternal fetal specialist, a neurologist, an anesthesiologist, and a pulmonologist. The consensus was that I should deliver early due to the breathing impairments they were sure I would have. I was not offered much reassurance from my own life. Many times I heard, "The baby will be fine if he's born early. It's you we're gravely concerned about, whether or not you will make it home with your baby. In one way or another," I thought. In October, I was beginning to have episodes of hot flashes, rapid heart rate, shortness of breath, triggered by my position routine. It was clear to me my little body was running out of room. I, however, was going to push myself. With increasing attacks mid-October, my doctor admitted me to the hospital for evaluation. After a couple of days in the ICU, and greatly to my dismay, the team of doctors decided I would deliver. I was reassured by every doctor that my baby was thriving, but I would put him at risk by prolonging my pregnancy. I decided it was best. So at 32 and a half weeks, we welcomed our Jude into the world through an amazingly uncomplicated birth, much to the doubt of my doctors and the utmost gratitude of us all. After a quick stay in the NICU, and by the grace of God, we were home together, and I was more than ready to conquer the challenges of being a mom with a disability, to be the absolute best mom I could be, despite not being able to physically do the things moms do. I wanted to show my son how to be courageous in his endeavors, to face struggles with tenacity and determination, to believe in himself against all odds and negative voices, to love always, to have compassion for others, and above all, to have faith that anything and everything is possible with God. My circumstances, though they'd be difficult at times for both of us, were the perfect opportunity to do just that. After Jude was born, I decided to write a memoir, journaling from when Lance and I met. To write the majority, I would use my iPhone in my atrophy hand, wedged between my leg and the sofa's armrest, using only a finger, the only one adequate for typing. I would glide my finger across the screen, slowly pecking at each letter, a distinctive kind of patience this took. Eventually, I would train myself to use my feet with a ball top mouse and a switchboard to work my laptop. This was way more efficient and opened up a new realm of capacity for me. I am currently still editing and updating my manuscript using this method. My deteriorating condition has taken the back seat, and astonishingly, it was inconsequential to me because of the joy Jude brought into my life, completely overpowering. But in February of 2020, ill with the flu, my health had to be addressed. Hesitantly, I agreed to go to the hospital. I feared, even in my dehydrated and malnourished state, that the hospital would make matters worse for me. Almost 2 days later, I was diagnosed with pulmonary edema due to an overabundance of IV fluids. With a morbidly high level of CO2, I was hurried to the ICU by the insistence of my fiercely determined mother. My pulmonologist explained that I would need to be intubated and probably receive a tracheostomy. In his considerate nature and in the sedation that my elevated carbon dioxide put me in, he adhered to the urging of my sister that I was not like that before. He told my incredible family that it would be wait and see if non-invasive ventilation with a BiPAP would be sufficient. I slept in that oblivion for several days as my family and friends prayed. Miraculously, I made it home, albeit in worse shape than I was before the unfolding of the prior few weeks. I now had sleep apnea, shortness of breath, among other crippling symptoms. The next 4 years were full of so much beauty and joy, but also escalating pain, as I began having panic attacks. The intensity of the bouts of anxiety was magnified by my breathing problems, and inversely as well. I admit, of all the physical pain I've been through, losing my ability to walk, talk, move my arms, and all of the activities that go with it, this was undoubtedly the most trying for me. I have been through a lot with a stable, calm mentality, but the feeling of suffocation was enough to break it. Motivational speaker Nido Kubain perfectly expressed in words, "Your present circumstances don't determine where you can go. They merely determine where you start." In December of 2022, Steve landed a meeting with Holly Carney, an executive producer of the movie Fatima, in regards to the production of our film. Holly of Anvil Entertainment is certainly famous for being the wife of former Saint and NFL place kicker John Carney. However, she has definitely made a name for herself in the film industry. Holly decided to take on our project. She invited me to sit on her Zoom calls for her other projects to get a feel for the industry. I created a website and graphics for our movie and helped with the email and correspondence for our movie project while the production team was traveling abroad. Witnessing my proficiency at operating my computer with my feet to do all these things, she named me executive producer of our film and hired me as her executive assistant. I'm currently working on a myriad of Holly's projects. My role consists of website design, logo creation, branding, graphic design, marketing material design, social media maintenance, email correspondence, record keeping, scheduling of investor meetings, and media gigs for our projects, spreadsheet creation, and more. When she came to New Orleans with her production partner, Lucas Foster, in August, Lucas announced that he was producing our movie as well. Lucas is one of the most prolific producers in Hollywood, with box office hits such as Ford vs. Ferrari, Man on Fire, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Law Abiding Citizen, and many, many more. Needless to say, we are beyond thrilled that our story is in the hands of these incredible producers. Holly has additionally given me inspiration to launch Jessica Lasiter Consulting for my creative design services, offering my work in the New Orleans area and remotely with my experience working on Hollywood projects. In January of 2024, I caught RSV. Dehydration and malnutrition, along with other symptoms, landed me in the ICU again, where, of course, my mom never left my side. A near-death experience during this stay in the ICU left me with a tracheostomy and a feeding tube, but mostly gratitude. God had strategically placed my mom, Lance, and my amazing pulmonologist with me in this terrifying case. Much to my surprise, the new challenges that I experienced with these tubes are greatly outweighed by how good I feel. Almost 14 years have passed since the start of my crippling disease. Probably about 11 years passed since my assumed expiration date in the eyes of my doctors. What many fail to understand is that no human can explain the full extent of the capacity of the body. Our potential is beyond science and reason. The limits which we are brainwashed to believe can be surpassed in endless ways. In my case, it is the love of a mother who goes above and beyond, the love of a father who has my back without fail, the love of a husband who is my rock, the love of a son who is the reason I fight and the light of my life, the love of my siblings who make me smile, the love of my in-laws who are there unconditionally, the love of my family and friends who reinforce my faith. But most of all, the love of Jesus, who is love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Along this beautiful but difficult road, the thing that kept me strong in my weakness, the thing that held me through the pain, the one thing that loyally and invariably remained was love. Thank you all so much for having us here. Please feel free to reach out to me at www.jessicalasiterconsulting.com or the movie email on the flyer. Thank you all.
Very briefly, you guys have to get to class, but we are keeping this as an independent film, which means fundraising, going on fundraising. The flyer that was handed out has my contact information, my phone number on it. Anybody feel free to reach out anytime. Our website is wholememovie.com. Jessica is creating a PayPal account to go with the website for donations. Most of all, we need prayers. Pray for us when you think of us. If it's a larger investment amount, don't hesitate to call me, and I'll link you to the correct people. And congratulations to all the Pink Panthers.